We had plenty of chances against Spurs. We had a few chances against PSG, but ultimately, it doesn't matter how good you play. If you're not putting the ball back in the back of the net, you're not going to win the game.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of XG Battle. Remember, you can download the Sporting Life and Infogol apps on iOS and Android to get all the best football analysis and insight, as well as expert betting tips wherever you are. Today, we're joined by Andrew Beasley, author of From 18 to 19, the numbers behind Liverpool's 2019-20 title, and Lewis Brown from the City Extra fan channel to preview this weekend's huge top of the table clash. And we'll dive straight into it. Liverpool head into the weekend top of the table. Man City are second, but according to Infogol's performance-based table, it should be the other way around. So, Andrew, we'll start with you. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's about right. There's certainly been two of the best teams this season. I don't think anybody can argue with that. Liverpool's form is pretty good. They've scored 3 goals in their last 6 games, something they'd only done twice before in the history of the club. Obviously, some concerns over the defence after the Brentford game last week, in which they conceded 3 goals. But I mean, that aside, they've looked pretty solid for most of the season. So, yeah, feeling pretty good ahead of the match, yeah.
How about yourself, Lewis? Do you think it's fair that Liverpool ought to be top, not City?
Well, I think City have played really good this year, better than most people would probably expect. You know, especially with the big saga of Harry Kane and how that impacted the team going into the season. But I'm happy with where we are. I think we're in a good space. Got a good result against Chelsea last weekend, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the clash on Sunday. It should be good.
So this weekend, then, the Infogol XG model has Liverpool win at 32%, the draw at 28%, and City to win at 40%. So, as a City fan, Lewis, how are you feeling about
that? Well, stats are obviously one thing, and they're telling us that City are maybe favourites to win there slightly, but you know, recent history would point to otherwise. You know, obviously we did get the win, and I think it was the draw the year before. So our record is slowly getting better, and maybe the stats are slowly coming over to the City side as well. And you know, I think we can cause damage to Liverpool, and you know, we do create a lot of chances. And you know, Liverpool did concede 3 against Brentford, and maybe that's where the stats are sort of maybe favouring City, just due to the fact that they did concede 3 goals and City are creating a lot of chances. So, yeah, back it.
The chance creation you just mentioned there for City this season, it has been pretty sensational. So we've got it down as 15.3 expected goals for. But we'll come on to Mo Salah in a minute from a Liverpool perspective. Only 12 goals for City. Whereas Liverpool, they're managing to pretty much match up on their XG, Andrew, really taking their chances and creating a lot as well.
Yeah, they've been doing really well. I mean, I'm quite surprised that City are favourites on the Infogol model or with the bookmakers for the game on Sunday, just because I think Liverpool are generally favourites in any game at home. I suppose the fact the percentages are all pretty close shows that it could easily be any of the 3 possible results. But yeah, Liverpool have been doing well this season, as I said, scoring plenty of goals, creating a lot of chances. And yeah, with Salah's basically scoring every game more or less. So yeah, they will be able to create chances on Sunday. It's just about can they take them in the big game.
Now, one player that it looks like he's probably not going to be available on Sunday is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Then you'll be able to see his stats down below here. A brilliant start to the season from him, both from a creative perspective, but also a little bit better defensively. Then from a Manchester City fan's perspective, Lewis, how are you feeling? Relieved that he's not available?
Yeah, definitely, because he's a great player and creates serious danger for whoever he's playing against. So I think obviously him not playing and not featuring, if he doesn't make it, can only benefit City really, because I think the drop off as well in class between Trent and whoever comes in is going to be absolutely huge. So not only are you losing his creative play, the drop is just massive.
And Liverpool lose that creativity. And one of the big things for Manchester City kind of over this last year or so has been the phenomenal numbers they've been producing from a defensive perspective. Andrew, how hard does it become for Liverpool without Trent? Just how important is he, and how much extra pressure does it place on somebody like Salah to just become that overarching match we're in a game like this?
Yeah, I mean, Trent is incredibly important to how Liverpool play, and he's sort of proved that over the last few seasons. Obviously, he's going to be missed. I do think Liverpool can cover for his absence reasonably well. I mean, while it's obviously not the same as facing Man City, James Milner, who may play, did a good job at right back against Crystal Palace a couple of weeks ago. So he could do something similar against City. There's also the fact that 12 different Liverpool players have already got an assist this season. So while Trent will most likely have the most at the end of the season, quite a few players are already contributing on that front where they haven't always in the past. So he is going to be missed, of course he is, but there are other players who will be able to contribute, I think.
We've touched on Salah, and his brilliant start to the season seems to be scoring in every single game. Then from a City perspective, Lewis, is it a bit of a concern? You mentioned that the ongoing saga with Harry Kane, that there doesn't seem to be that player that you can kind of stake your life on, that they are going to score for Man City in a match like this.
No, you're right, and that's our downfall. And if you look at the games that we've lost this year, I'm thinking back to Tottenham, I'm thinking PSG, Champions League. You know, we had chances to win the game, and you just think to yourself, if we would have had a striker in there, we would win that game. We had plenty of chances against Spurs. We had a few chances against PSG, but ultimately, it don't matter how good you play, if you're not putting the ball back in the back of the net, you're not going to win the game. So for us, it very much, I think we will create chances against Liverpool, but at the end of the day, I think if we don't win or we don't get a point, I think we're probably looking at it and going, we just didn't take our chances, and that's how our season's just panning out at the moment.
So I'll start with you then, Lewis. Score prediction, neck on the line for Sunday.
It's a tricky one, but I'm going to go for a 2-2, and I think that'll be a great result for City, and maybe even Liverpool would take that.
And Andrew as well.
Yeah, I don't think Liverpool would be disappointed with the draw, but I always back them to win when they're playing at home, so I'm going for 2-1 Liverpool.
Now, I promise you there's absolutely no bias in this. The Sporting Life score prediction, powered by the Infogol XG model, Liverpool 1, Manchester City 2. Our Premier League score predictor available every Thursday on sportinglife.com and on the app, predicting the scoreline in every Premier League game. So thanks to Andrew and Lewis for joining us this week. Do keep an eye out for our best bets video ahead of the weekend's action. And for expert insight, wherever you are, download the Sporting Life app, now available on iOS and Android.